Alright, this is my third and final video for today. So in this video I'm going to talk about the challenge that you may experience as a newcomer to Canada. I see a fly. I had the window open just now. I don't know. Oh, anyways. Yeah, the challenge that you may experience as a newcomer to Canada. So personally, the main challenge I had was finding an apartment. So before I came here, the videos I was watching made it look really easy. Like you can just book an appointment and go look at an apartment and you get it. When I came here and I started looking for apartments, it was the complete opposite. It was so stressful. Thankfully, I was not stressed because I had support. But the process of getting an apartment is not an easy one for a newcomer, especially if you do not have support, meaning like you have a family or a friend or someone who can help you to move around and to navigate through the process of actually getting your apartment. So I had a very sad experience, which I'm going to share because there are some persons who may have that experience, and I don't want to deter you. I just want to make you aware that it might happen. So just brace yourself. Don't let it deter you, but just know that it's a possibility. So I saw this very nice apartment that was close to my university, and I really wanted to get one of those apartments. So I called the number from outside Canada. I was in the US and I called the number, and the gentleman was so rude. He just hung up the phone. Like I can laugh about it because I just let it roll off my back. But he was very rude. He told, apparently he thought I was a youngster. I was maybe a teenager or something, and that I was not responsible for myself because he found out. He asked me what I'm coming to do, and I said I'm coming to study. So he clearly assumed that I am a child and that my parents are responsible for me. And so that's what he said. He said, you cannot afford to get an apartment. You need to open a bank account and you need to get this and that and whatever, and we don't have an apartment for you. And he just hung up the phone. Oh my goodness. Well, thankfully I'm in a better place these days than I was years ago. Thank Jesus. So I didn't let that deter me, but it was just a real induction into trying to find an apartment here. So when I actually came over now to Winnipeg is when it really hit me that it's not so easy to get an apartment. And the main reason that it's not that easy is because the persons who are renting apartment, they want you to provide a credit check. As an outsider or a newcomer to Canada, you do not have any credit rating in Canada, which is something they require. So unless you have someone who is willing to be a guarantor for you, someone who has been here, who has a good credit rating, and who will say to them, okay, I will stand as surety for this person, I will pay their rent. If they are unable to pay, I will be responsible for their rent. Unless you have someone like that, then it's going to be a really difficult thing for you to get an apartment. Now, how did I get my apartment? Days of searching and praying and at some moments just starting to feel frustrated, but just really, really tired and overwhelmed from looking at apartments, knowing that this is the apartment I want, reaching out to the individuals. Some of them responded, some didn't. You know, I left messages, left my phone number. They didn't return my call. I mean, it was just really, really tiring. And so when the Lord led me to this apartment and I started to complete the application, this was like it was like I was writing for an exam, to be honest. This is how it felt. Because the kind of information they were asking me for to, talk about who I am and what I would do in certain situations if I saw a can on the lawn, what I would do and stuff like that. I'm like, is this an exam I'm doing? But I said, Lord, I'm just gonna complete this application because it's just another one. So I completed the application, submitted it, and they actually responded. And I was over the moon that somebody actually responded to my application and responded in a positive way. So I was able to, make the arrangement to view the apartment. When I came and saw it, I loved it immediately. There was another location that they had an apartment that was available, and I thought I would go and see that one as well and to choose between the two. But I didn't want to wait and then I lost this apartment. So I decided, all right, let me just take this apartment because I really, really liked it. But the process of actually getting the apartment is not an easy one. So for this one, I had to show proof of funds like I did for my visa. So I pretty much just used the same information that I had at the time and submitted it along with my application, and that was how I was able to. The Lord helped me to get this apartment. At one point, I was reaching out to some friends to ask them to help me with this thing, but the Lord just worked it out that everything went through okay, and I did get the apartment. But it's really, really difficult. I mean, this is one area that the government of Canada has recognized that it's a significant challenge that students are coming here and cannot find accommodation because real estate personnel are not willing to rent apartment to students, I guess because those who've gone on before have made it bad for those who are coming. But it's a real issue, and it's something that I believe you ought to be mindful of even as you are coming to Canada or preparing to come. So in the latter days of me searching for an apartment, I found this website that I think can be really useful if you are coming to look for an apartment. I'm gonna put the link in the description here as well, but it's rentalsfornewcomers.com, and the site gives information for companies or individuals who are willing to rent apartments to students. So you can check that out. I found it to be really, really, really useful, and so you can use it to help you in your search for an apartment. I would love to be in a position to help persons who are coming to secure their apartments, but at this point I'm here not even 1 month. I do not have credit rating, so I'm basically swimming myself. So if you can find someone who is willing to do that for you, then by all means go ahead and do that. But just be prepared that you might have some challenge, face some challenge in getting an apartment here, which is one of the reasons I recommend that persons ensure that you come early, come to Canada early, and also why you need to have money. So make sure you have money, come early so that you can get your apartment sorted out. You will need to get some other things done for your apartment. You have to open a bank account. You have to get your SIN, social insurance number. You have to get your utilities in your account if it's not covered in your rent, things like those. So you will need to have time to do those. And if you are doing a program of study that is intense or requires a lot of effort and time from you, it's going to be extremely stressful for you to get those other things done. Some things you can do online, but there are some things you have to do in person, like opening your bank account and getting your SIN. Those have to be done in person, so you will need to have time for those. And then in the midst of that, you're probably going to be searching for a part-time job, which is another that's a job by itself. All right, so make sure you have adequate time to do all of these things that you need to do. But be prepared when you're coming over. Finding an apartment might just be a job in itself. So there you go. You have at least 2 jobs already. One is finding an apartment. The other one is finding a part-time job. All right, so enjoy your jobs. All right, that's it for today. I will catch you guys another time. It's my pleasure to share information with you and just keep you abreast as to what is happening with me here in this side of the world on the journey of the adventures of Heather Fab. So I'll see you next time. Bye bye.